Hi.
I'm alive. Hello, welcome to episode. You guys fucked up, man. Welcome to Filling and Read the News, episode number 79.
It's not
There's
our fault.
fucking nobody in the chat again. Nobody in the chat.
Well, we've been on the air for all the way to 30 seconds.
Have
What?
you guys not been tweeting out?
I knew I forgot to do something.
Blind girl like never tweets me out. Yeah.
No. There's a tweet that I got from the trucker, and the reason why I'm late is because I was watching it.
I see you're not late. You're on time.
Well, at 2 minutes before you started. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on time. I'm saying is you never tweet
Yay.
the street.
Tweet.
See a lot of other people's stuff out, but not mine.
I didn't tweet anything. I read a message.
I'm saying you see a lot of other videos out, but not mine.
I barely tweet anything ever, except for what I see on YouTube.
Ooh. So, speaking of music, I actually went down to look at the Madonna record from my caretaker stuff. It does not have Like a Virgin on it.
Yeah, like Madonna could remember what that's like.
Green Thunder, I hate you. I seriously, I fucking just spilled my ashtray. Best not.
How is that
Scotty-
my fault?
Scotty, that was a horrible thing to say.
What?
I demand you give Green Thunder a sarcastic and obviously, a sarcastic apology that you obviously do not mean.
No.
That'll do.
I have a contact.
That's good enough.
Yeah, what?
Webb. I don't know. It just says, "Hey, look, the contact you know named Finley Webb. He's on Twitter now." And I'm like, "I have a contact named Finley Webb. Who the fuck is this?"
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a made-up name.
He just blocked him.
Maybe it's my transgender friend Finnegan.
No, his first name's Michael. He grew whiskers on his chin again. The wind came out and blew them in again.
Anyway, on to the news. Yeah, this is supposed to be a news. Oh, we lost
That's
Shocker.
news.
Have you checked
Man
on
in
the
20s arrested after wearing gimp suit and approaching 14 terrified villagers. People in Clover, Somerset, are reported seeing a grunting man wearing a gimp suit.
What did you say? Grunting?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Oh my God, Scotty, is it you?
No, yeah, he's too skinny to be me.
It's in Somerset anyway.
And looks too skinny to be me.
Yeah.
Does that look like he got boobs?
No. Scotty, I heard you give your man nude through. No. I sold my dignity to you for 30 quid, though. Grunting man wearing a gimp suit. Avon and Summerhurst, police said. Yeah, because they didn't even bother to include the E in Somerset. You included the E on the first part, but not the second part, you lazy cunt.
Well, there's got to be two M's in Somerset.
So you're saying the news people don't know how to spell?
Yep. You funded to do it this by any chance?
No. I'm not stupid enough to put my writing out there.
Yeah, there's a clip of it yesterday. Is there?
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Cryptic. A suspect has been arrested after a man wearing a gimp suit reportedly jumps out in front of strangers, touching his groin.
Michael Jackson?
It follows 14 reports of a man. Police have now detained a man in his 20s on suspicion of indecency. It follows 14 reports of a man approaching people while wearing disguises, one of which was a black bodysuit. David and Somerset police said the man is in custody. One woman said she saw a man grunting and breathing heavily while approaching him in Clavering and Somerset. Speaking to the BBC, the woman said he kept coming towards me and touching his groin, grunting and breathing heavily. Every time I close my eyes, I just see that face. You'd be terrified, though, wouldn't you?
Not really. I'll be too busy laughing. I mean, especially the humidity we've had now and recently. How could he stand being in that fucking rubber suit?
Hence why he was grunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I guess he only does it at night, so it's not so bad.
It's still a rubber suit.
Latex, rubber, or leather? You decide.
I mean, can you imagine if he tried to chase? He wouldn't get very far if he tried to chase you, would he? He'd overheat.
No. She sent a picture of a man in disguise in an effort to raise awareness. Police sniffer dogs and a helicopter reportedly took part in a search for the latex-clad man.
You got a helicopter for this guy?
Well, it's night and it's black.
Okay, we haven't used the helicopter this month. Well, let's just use it anyway.
And those police helicopters, they've got the heat cameras, so you can't hide from them.
True.
No. And he's going to be emitting a lot of heat in that.
Oh yeah.
Speaking yesterday in Avon and Somerset, police spokesman said, "We're aware of concerns relating to a man acting suspiciously in the Claverham and Yatton area. We're attempting to keep an open mind about the motive for these incidents. It's clear the individual is acting. The individual responsible is deliberately attempting to cause alarm to men and women he's approaching. While no one has been hurt in the incidents, we really appreciate the distress and actions these actions have caused victims. Inquiries are ongoing in and around Claverham, a small village around 11 miles south-west of Bristol, 10 miles northwest of Weston-super-Mare. So yeah, watch out, there's a wicked man in the suit about, I guess.
It's these West Country people, the nutters.
So I've heard. Yep.
Watch it. We have a kangaroo with a machine gun in the chat. Wait, with an assault
Yeah,
rifle.
AK.
47, I think.
Hey everyone, how are you?
What up, Tom?
Not too
Right.
Getting the coffee a bit
Tom.
late. I had to make a coffee. I was getting a bit late. That's why I'm late, sir.
It's his excuse and he's sticking to it.
Oh yeah,
Time for some order non-dad now.
Coffee.
just rubbing one out to be honest, but it's all good.
Hello, Crappy.
I don't want coffee anymore.
Hello, Crappy.
Hopefully you're enjoying your day off.
Oh, he's got a day off, does he? Nice.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, he's off today as well, isn't
Yeah, he gets 2 days off.
he? Trump's race fantasy is clear. The US is home for whites fleeing Europe. Go home.
Okay.
He said the Democratic congressman, meanwhile, this side of the Atlantic, he tries to stoke fears about Muslims.
Do that very much.
Why don't they go back home and why don't they go back and fix it? The totally broken and crime-infested places they came from. Donald Trump wondered if four progressive, his punctuation, Democratic congresswomen, AOC, born in New York, is she about to leave, born in Michigan, Ayanna Presley, born in Ohio, and Ilhan Omar, born in Somalia, raised in the US, and a naturalized American. Woof.
Who has a dog? Oh,
Oof.
I know exactly who has a dog.
Ah, he's probably hearing the other dog, that's why. The dog barking in my background, he probably hears it. It's about eyes.
Oof.
Hello, Littlefinger.
Woof woof.
Bork, bork.
Yeah, I think Trump mostly meant for them to go back to their own district.
Yep. Of course, they're retarded, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I read this yesterday.
No, you didn't. This is a different article.
I read 4 different articles on the same thing yesterday. By the way, sir.
Yeah, this is a different article. Did you
Or-
read one from the Guardian? Did you read one from the Guardian?
Yep.
And this was published today. So
Well, The Guardian published very similar paragraphs. It really doesn't matter. I'm just teasing you. But yeah, I read 4 or 5 different versions of this exact same crap.
yeah,
I end up hearing the same news article like 3 times a day. Just
I seem to recall you've read. I seem to recall you've read articles I've read before.
And yet, at this very moment, I can antagonize you about it.
Please don't.
No,
new.
impossible to
So
tell.
what's the rest of it say?
Tell why he chose these women rather than Mike Pence, also born in the US out of Irish ancestry. Or for that matter, why Trump himself doesn't return to the Outer Hebrides, birthplace of his mother, which is real crime against Knitwear. You're not funny.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yep.
But then one interesting outcome of this is it actually got Nancy Pelosi, the person who's been trash talking them girls for a couple weeks now, to turn around and start defending them.
Yeah, and her argument is ridiculous. Trump doesn't want people who were born in the US to return to the land that their parents came from. He wants the people who really entered the US illegally to go back to where they come from.
Yeah, imagine how incredibly full Scottish politics would be. Everyone whose parents were born there went back and tried to govern it. And we were seeking independence from them. If it sounds like it makes no sense, because you're not trying hard enough to understand how Trump's thought architecture. These are basically the politics of heroid. Everyone go back to where they came from. And then at least we'll know where we are. Nobody here intends to kill any babies later on. That was just complete fucking word salad.
Yeah.
That made no fucking sense at all. Oh no, there's a simpler reason. Straight race hate. American commentators are asking, should we be saying Trump has been racist? Or to be precise, Trump has been racist again. In fact, the real shock factor of an openly bigoted leader on the world stage really belongs to another age. We have known for a long time that Trump distinguishes between races. Existentialist, nonsensical ways that somehow seem to work better out for you if you're white. Whereupon you're most likely a rapist. You're not a rapist, not a criminal, nor a terrorist. Well, imagine theoretically false spreading from the Congress to the nation's borders is an increasingly level of hatred. The barbarism that was mallevated, but just when Trump leveled it, President Obama has hardened it into something far more violent. And his blind girl left again, actually, without telling anybody.
No.
I'm sitting right here.
I had a fridge. I just thought I'd
Nice
have something
question.
I made you a bit. Fucking hell.
Nice.
I just thought I'd have something to annoy you about there. Never mind.
Nice try.
Yeah, it was mallevated, but mischievous when Trump leveled it at President Obama. I saw it into something far more violent. There's nothing violent about it. And has there ever led to any question mark about whether you have Americans who are not white? Never mind Cadeo to be president. He's a model. Prefer to live in the US, America at all. If it makes no logical sense when a man with an immigrant wife, an immigrant ex, an immigrant mother, an immigrant grandparents who all came
But
there legally.
they're legal.
Exactly.
It's been, I'm not just
Two immigrant wives, technically.
I'm not dignifying me with the title woman. This Bint is deliberately writing his piece to misrepresent Trump with every fucking word she's printing.
And most of it so far has been complete fucking word salad.
Yep.
They
That's
say
fine.
he's racist, but list off the reasons that he's not racist and still don't get the connection.
You see, these are this isn't journalism. This is an opinion piece.
It's
That's
literally
not
in the
Hello, James.
section.
Pardon?
Yeah, hello, James Woodwright. It's literally in the Guardian's opinion section.
The entire bloody Guardian's an opinion section.
Yeah. That's because it's not intended to. The aim is not consistency. It's clear racial hierarchy. Says the one who fucking says the people who fucking claim the racial hierarchy exists.
It's almost as if you do things legally, you have more rights than those who decide to sneak into the country illegally.
I mean, they're the ones that are saying the whites are like the best and they do everything best and they don't commit crimes and they don't do this. They do. And blacks are just stupid and oppressed and everything and can't see it.
I still will say,
They're the ones that create
when it
racial
comes to
hierarchy.
running and dancing, black people have it better.
And running.
I said running and dancing.
Yeah. Close observers of the far right, its obsession, its deliberate falsehoods, its hot button issues have noticed for some time that race always supersedes nationalism. Eventually, as the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said, "Make America great again" really means make America white again.
That's a pretty
Probably
damn
on the-
racist statement in and of itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets better the further he reads.
Partly underpinning, this is a new fantasy of the U.S. as a white settler state, seeking even greater purity itself in readiness for its new role as a homeland for white people fleeing Muslim Europe. This is the root of Trump's fixation. With London, Mayor Sadiq Khan, the president's assistance, and that of his supporters, that the British capital is full with no-go areas.
It is, though.
Yeah. London is fucking full of no-go areas.
It's the fucking murder capital of the Western fucking world.
I bet you if a white person came in here illegally, they'd be equally deported.
Oh, yes.
Well, according to one comically alluded to an imagination over the weekend, kebab shop owners will murder and rape you and feed you to their customers. As London, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Nope.
Other myths attached to other parts of Europe. It's not a myth. Chancellor Merkel's refugee policy in Germany generating thousands of rapes in one single night. Oh my fucking god.
It happened. It was
Also,
fucking reported in the fucking news.
It happened, yeah.
How's those Asian rape gangs?
Yeah.
What the fucking hell? Can I have what this person's smoking? Because it sounds amazing.
Wonder which alternate universe they live in.
This is what happens when you just take all the fucking drugs at one time. You just become some crazy lunatic.
Oh, and apparently, in the United States, the right is mainstream.
Okay.
I'm going to say this guy took all the drugs known to man, including some that have just been made up for movies.
I believe it's a Bint who wrote this.
I'm not surprised the women wrote this. No offense, boy and girl.
Uh,
You sound very enthusiastic.
no, I'm just eating food. Well, snacks, really. Just lots of snacks.
What kind of snacks? Not rattle snacks.
Crisps,
Cheese.
probably.
Oh, cheesies. The stale cheesies.
Like cheesy poofs? I like cheesy poofs.
Yeah, like cheesy poofs.
Graham Norton's a cheesy poof.
See, some of that's horrible when they're stale, though.
Yeah, well, my son left the bag open.
It's not coming like little bags, no. It's just one big bag.
Wasn't that Jack the Ripper?
Bag, but I'm not going to
Ooh.
buy a bunch of little bags. I'm just going to buy one big bag because that's cheaper.
Hey, Scotty,
Y'all
wasn't that Jack the Ripper's problem?
Little bag, so you can just make life easier.
Scotty, wasn't that Jack the Ripper's problem? Yeah, he always left the bag open.
I don't know.
How do you not know about Jack the Ripper?
I do.
Right, sorry. I'll rein myself in so you can finish your article.
For instance, it had become an distinct and well-worn fantasy. I think you're the one living in the fantasy. Even for the mainstream US right, to conceive of London as not a multicultural city but an invaded one, whose mayor was voted in by Muslims.
It was?
It is.
Oh, no, Cryptic, I don't want to sing.
Cryptic, make him sing.
Do it.
Please,
Mwah.
no.
You're the best penis out there, Cryptic. Penis. Your Subway sandwiches, your Subway sandwich bars are halal because it is nonsense. Wherever it's source, it floats the discourse like astrology. Like, just because there are people who believe it, that rubbish doesn't mean it needs to detain the rest of us. Well, yes, I guess you should look in the mirror then. Yeah, the real agenda of this myth making unfolds plainly before our eyes. Please don't tell me I need to check this now.
What's happening?
I think we're going to get some singing.
You didn't watch it yesterday, did you, Batman?
No.
It's amazing.
Hey.
Cryptic pays me to sing stuff now.
Oh,
I'll
God.
get Pete to make sure we can get a nice clip.
Here's why watching Ghost Bear or something.
And yet he will still.
Just tell me when I
Not
should
yet.
take. Can you tell me when I should take my headset off?
Okay, let's wait for it to load. Thank you, Cryptic, for the £5. I put my hand upon my dick when I say I slip, we slip. Gay. Thank you, Cryptic, for the £5.
I
You know, I enjoy the rewriting of songs.
I hate you, Cryptic.
No worries, Tom. Yeah, no. I mean, I guess I'm making money out of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Opinionated.
he made £50 last night, so
Opinionated. You're a whore.
I'm not a horse. It's kind of you pay as I say it kind of thing, isn't it? I love his monotone singing.
Well, if that's the case, Cryptic, go and buy yourself some Leonard Cohen LPs.
If anything, you should do. If anything, Blind Girl can actually sing. You should pay her to sing.
Nope.
Why not?
I flat refuse.
Why?
Cause.
Even if you paid someone to do it, you would. Even if someone paid you.
You know what? I feel like it has to be more than like $2 Canadian. I feel like.
Well, I got £5 for it.
Well, I don't really like. No, just no.
Oh, can I ask everybody here? Yeah, the idiot who wrote this thing is on about Trump's obsession with Sadiq Khan. Wasn't it Sadiq Khan who started attacking Trump first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
Keeps
Yeah.
having a go at him.
Yep.
Yep.
With the whole blimp.
Yeah, just like little attacks in the press here and there.
And he ended up having his own blimp because they didn't want to look like a hypocrite. Yeah, the real agenda of this myth making unfolds plainly before our eyes. Trump and his supporters manufacture hostility as a natural state between Muslims and non-Muslims, people of color, and white people, as milestones towards creating a country for white people, where everyone else goes home. Yeah, so far this isn't the same article you've read in Flying Girl, is it?
I don't know anymore.
You're not paying enough attention, are you?
Nope.
Shock.
We don't have any evidence of inhumane behavior towards migrants.
I'm paying attention. I just don't feel like shedding the same points I shedded yesterday. So I am not going to argue with you over the merit of whether I read this article or not, nor am I going to get emotionally
You started the
involved.
argument, though. So,
No, I just pointed it out because that's what you do 10 times a day. So I figured I would just a little get even.
I want myself
I'm
to
quite happy repeating myself.
His mouth, maybe some penis love. Nope. Even if we had no evidence of inhumane behavior towards migrants,
We don't.
no imitation of Islamophobia at policy level.
There isn't any.
No. Maybe alarming. More alarming still is what sounds like hyper nationalism is actually deeply international, relying heavily on global allies. Donald Trump needs Boris Johnson to gnash his teeth about the areas of where Britain's areas of Britain where English is a second language. Well, though they're called Muslim no-go areas.
Well,
He needs people.
right, he doesn't complain about Wales, where English is a second language.
Oh, not North of Wales, isn't it?
But officially in Wales, English is the second language.
Even though most people in Wales speak English
Yep,
as their first language.
yep. Blame Plaid Cymru for that.
Yeah, he needs Piers Morgan calling Khan a pipsqueak. With long respect, he needs Nigel Farage to blame Khan for a London Bridge terror attack. It's not that the US president is particularly interested in wild cards here. We're getting racial purity back on the political agenda. Whereas a human amount of perceived threat more than one man could ever manufacture, or even one nation to ratify this zombie-like idea. You don't belong here because your skin color. There was even an idea, so long dead, so decomposed, white supremacists have to position the entire civilization as at risk. We know figures within our right wing collude with the narrative. We don't yet know when that collusion will end. What the fucking hell was that?
Oh.
It was anti-right, anti-Trump word salad. Basically,
Oh,
what
no.
you're saying, Orange Man,
gave me a
bad,
headache.
white people, racist.
A lot of fucking shit. That's what that was.
Yep.
That's literally all that was.
I mean, Muslims are obviously great. They give gays and Christians flying lessons.
No, just gays.
Oh, that's right. They give Christians a haircut, like a little too much off.
Not always. No, they definitely do that to Jews, though.
Yeah.
Hold on, did Cryptic just say he's getting bored in a bar?
How are you bored in a bar? Bars
No,
are fun.
He's getting bored in a bar. It must be a gay.
I think it.
Look, if he's getting bored in a bar, like I said, it must be a gay bar.
No, he seems to like penis a lot.
Yeah. That's why he's getting bored in a bar.
He went straight bar then, didn't he?
Drilled.
He's getting
that
bored.
too. Bored, drilled.
technically the only bar I was been to is a gay bar, but there were some funny looking gays in there.
Trust you to admit to something like that. I'm not surprised. I might not shock the only pub you've ever been to is a gay pub.
I don't do drinking.
It's an Ohio bar. I'm shocked.
It's a gay bar in Ohio, but it's an Ohio gay bar, but you repeat yourself.
Hold on. Well, Ohio's a fascist state anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all fascist.
It has its moments, yes.
Yeah. Because Ohio is the state where they basically arresting all the Republican senators, correct?
No, I thought Ohio was a fucking.
I don't know.
I
I don't know the political makeup.
I thought Ohio was a red state. Is it not? Am I wrong? Anybody know?
I don't know. I've only been to
Depends on who you
Ohio
talk
once
to,
on a
really.
scout trip to what is that, Cedar Point that's in Ohio?
Well, the fuck's they ask questions about
The
it as
amusement
well.
park, yeah.
The only reason why I remember the name Ohio is because of the Drew Carey show.
I heard Cleveland Rocks.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Oregon.
Blue state. Time for another retarded.
Well, they're blue.
Yeah, I was thinking of
They
Oregon.
have their moments as far as blue and red. They tend to go along the same way West Virginia does. Who went blue for Obama the first time, then voted red ever since. So
No, Cryptic. The only dudes I want to see, no, Cryptic, not dudes. No one wants to see your nudes. The only dudes I want to see is from Blind Girl. I don't want to get them, so.
Oh, fuck.
I don't need any nudes.
Time for some more retarded. The misogynists might finally learn to behave if their actions are outlawed. At universities and in Parliament, there still exists an option of resistance to
Does
change.
she know that misogynist actually means somebody who hates women?
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a fucking housewife that is allowed to now create laws. That's what fucking sounds like.
Yep.
It sounds like somebody's bitch housewife that's like, yeah, Abner, don't be such a misogynist. Give me respect. One of those bitches, and now she's in a position to make fucking laws and is going to be everybody's bitch housewife.
Yep.
In an apron with her strings pulled a little too tight. Bitch needs to loosen her corset.
Cryptic, don't DM me Denny dick pics. Although I probably won't be able to see it anyway because you're Asian. So.
Right?
You fucking cunt. Grab myself in the bag.
You know, it'd be like, you know what a true misogynist is. Like, I'll show you a misogynist, Alice. One more time you say that word, and pow, to the moon, Alice, to the moon.
And I said to my abundant guilt, clout of sexual harassment news may have overshadowed the significant victory of students at Warwick University, which, thanks to its administration complacency over sexual abuse, has come to occupy a prominent place in misogyny league tables. There's a misogyny league table. Somebody actually has so little to do with the rest of their life, they made a misogyny league table about universities.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do they have misogyny?
Can somebody in this godforsaken state at least do the fucking speed limit, huh?
Nope.
As a female undergrad. What was that, sorry?
Do they have a misogyny app yet where you can rat out men?
Probably. I wouldn't be shocked if that exists.
They had a Muslim app where you could rat out women that were not at home and shit.
Yeah, it's called Tumblr. It's called Tumblr.
No, it's just called society.
I've never actually been on Tumblr. I don't even know what it is or does.
It was better when you could get porn on it.
Yeah.
As any female undergraduate can tell you, this is a highly competitive field. But only Warwick has excelled to the point of getting concerned for the perpetuators broadcast across social media. A shame on you, Warwick student protest that national headlines provoked the feeble official response to the discovery of rape chat by some male students led to the university commissioning an independent review. What I assume happened here, they probably just had a joke about rape. That's about it.
Probably didn't even joke about rape. They were just probably, oh, hey, she's got big tits.
Probably. We're just doing what young men do, really.
Yeah. Oh, like,
Led to the
male sexuality is bad, you see.
by Sharon Pershing, and now an apology to the victims from Warwick's Vice Chancellor, Professor Stuart Croft. We're genuinely sorry. He said, pity about the genuine. Moving on. I should have been quicker. I should have reached out. And faintly welcome this may be. This given these previous vigorous rejection of women's complaints about the process. It has little to explain why his university's response should, as revealed in a BBC documentary, have been failure to recognise the seriousness of violent sexism speech. Violent sexist speech. What?
Oh, what? So they've been having a go at the feminists, have they?
By violent sexist speech, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what the feminists are always using, violent sexist speech.
And it was misogynist in a way. In its way as the original group chat. To judge from his blog, the VC is able to register the seriousness of hateful behaviour on campus when it manifests as racism. After some undergraduates were shown, they showed comments about raping known individuals, his university devised a process likely to have considered and had the marks been religious or racist insults. His head of press, Peter Dunn, was tasked with investigating an episode of affecting the university's reputation. His interrogation was described as horrendous. One woman told the BBC that Dunn, who was still in office, was very accusatory, asked about her sexual history and reduced her to tears. Well, she's a fucking coward then, isn't she, probably?
Oh, she's using a tease to encourage sympathy.
Yeah. Crocodile tears.
Yep.
Possibly given the scarcity, 1 in 5 women in senior positions at Warwick. Yeah, there just weren't enough of them spare, so female undergraduates could be questioned by women about comments such as rape in the streets while everyone watches. I raped the flat to teach them all a lesson. Citation needed.
Well,
Yeah, that sounds very fictitious to me.
Mhm.
The two of them were banned from the campus for a decade. Croft ruled on appeal. They should be allowed back after a year. Alongside the subjects and their violent rape fantasies, one of the women had to sit in an exam next to one of the chatters. Well, he's not going to rape it in fucking public, is he?
It's just...
Pershaw's report notes that among some groups of students, this kind of hate speech has become normalized. It's no hate speech, is it? They're not saying anything hateful about any group. So it's not hate speech, even though hate speech is a lot of shit anyway. But
Yep.
Well, you're saying something we don't like, therefore hate speech.
Yes.
pretty much. And she found widespread acknowledgement. The chat could have happened anywhere, i.e. a parallel and deeply disturbing online world is now a form of social norm. But that does not presumably apply to the university officials. And hello, Wikipedia snippet.
Hello.
Harrow.
Woof woof to
The
Arnie.
university officials who were content by marginalizing the victims' complaints to normalize it further. The Warwick slogan on a website lavishly ornamented with images of laughing women is open to wonder. It's one way of putting it. So there are these reports that illustrate how power and indifference sustain misogyny. First Child is probably my favorite of last week's. Reverend shouted this semblance of responsibility now Kraft has introduced the possibility of not tolerating harassment. Example might yet educate staff and students in universities where misogynist behaviour remains. The other report's won by Naomi Ellenbogen, QC. Harassment in the House of Lords. One on ditto in the House of Commons by Gemma White, QC. Involves not just institutionalized sexism, but deep resistance given Westminster's interaction, following the 2018 recommendations by Dame Lorna Cox to tackling it. Hello, Honey Monster.
What up, Honey Monster?
And with Boris Johnson and his enthusiasm for semi-naked women glistening like wet otters. What?
For fuck's sake.
It's coming in the figurehead that it's little reason for optimism.
If it was a woman who was enthusiastic about scantily clad and oiled men, there'd be no fucking comment made.
That's what happens live on TV and no one cares. The incoming figurehead, there's little reason for optimism. Almost as memorable as in his history of objectifying and disrespecting women. It was suggesting that many women attend university because they have got to find men to marry. It's called a joke. Take a fucking joke. Why do we not live in a world where people take jokes seriously?
Because they're feminists and social justice warriors. They have no sense of humour.
The environment in which Johnson thrives remains one Ellenbogen reports where certain peers are notoriously excess or handsy in harassment by MPs, ranges from sexism and sexualized comments, innuendos and jokes to attempt kissing, groping, leering, and conduct that, like he says, can only be described as very serious sexual assault.
These days, sexual assault is saying hello to a woman and she doesn't like you.
Yep, or asking a woman if she wants to go for a coffee.
Yeah. Or even asking a woman directions.
Plainly disparaging Ellenbogen goes as far as to suggest the cameras in hotspots where the unsackable 75% male section of our legislators particularly prone to bothering women, junior womenized, whose feelings and complaints they can completely disregard. Unlike Johnson, many of those responsible have now learned to suppress overt racism and homophobia. There remains the possibility that when misogyny needs to be recognized as a hate crime, Westminster's harassers can be forced to, by the alternative police involvement, to act decently. And the Law Commission is now following a campaigning by Stella Creasy, Women's Aid, the Foster Society, and others, now counselling on whether misogyny should be required an additional on the protected characteristics list. The protected characteristics list. There shouldn't be a fucking protected characteristics list. Why does such a thing need to exist?
Yeah,
Equal under the law. There you go.
we used to have race relations laws, which protected people. Yeah, which protected people under law of all races from harassment.
You can just be, don't harass anybody.
Yeah,
Make it equal under the law for everybody. There you go. Easy enough.
There used to be a point to it.
What was the point then?
The same point that was made by hate crime laws.
Hate crime. I'm not a fan of hate crime laws either.
no,
That's because you don't understand what they're for. If you understood what the original intention behind hate crime laws, you would understand why they needed them.
And well, so you can find the motive as to why they murdered somebody, but I don't see why you should get them. To me, a murder is just a murder.
It's not just the motivations. It's the likelihood to become a repeat offender or an escalated offender. So if you have somebody that goes from hating Jews and saying, fuck you Jews, you fucking suck, G to gas, and then maybe they're knocking some heads, and then maybe they stab someone. If it's just a random stabbing, the likelihood of him being a repeat offender might not be as high as if he's going around stabbing Jews. You know what I mean?
that's what race relations laws were in place for.
It's supposed to calculate risk. It's supposed to calculate the likelihood of a repeat offense to put them in longer to attempt to rehabilitate them. Now, I realize that's a joke in today's jail system. However, the intentional meaning was to assess risk, assess rehabilitation, and to make sure that these people were put away longer because these are hate-motivated crimes, racially motivated crimes, that when they got out, they would probably just repeat and do again. Whereas, say, a bar fight where somebody said your mother's a whore and they stab them, you might not be likely to repeat that because it was just a one-time offense. Whereas somebody who generally hates black people or Jews or women,
Or white people, or men.
yeah,
But white people or men are not protected under these laws.
no, and I think that's a wrong thing. These laws were originally intended to assess risk. Now they have been
I disagree.
they've been perverted in the way that now they're using it to overcorrect for racial motivated hate. They're overcorrecting. Straight white males should be protected under these laws. If somebody hates a straight white male, it should be a hate crime, and that should be used to assess a high risk of, say, a woman cutting off a man's penis again. But to say that there is absolutely no reason for it at all, and why the fuck would we ever make them, you're forgetting the original intention of these laws and why they in fact are important. Now, perverting these laws is a bad thing, and it shows you just how corrupt our system is getting. But the original motivation behind these laws are something to not be overlooked and easily going, fuck this shit, we don't need it.
But that's kind of difficult to gauge though, because you don't know sometimes you don't know what the person's motivation was.
No.
Therefore,
It's not about assessing.
These laws, these hate laws, they have always been nebulous and vague. They were never really put there as protections. They were put there for as a means to arrest somebody for whatever.
Not necessarily, no, not the original
Because
intent.
the people who put them in, the people who got them put in place are the very people who you're saying have perverted them.
Yep. They are perverted, but the people that originally put these kinds of things in law were not corrupt. The original intention, and it stems back a lot longer than this progressive movement. If you want to dumb it down to be even more simpler,
Do you know how long this progressive movement? Do you know how long this progressive movement's been going?
Yeah, but
Pretty much since
let's
the
take it
70s.
back to something simpler like black versus white. Back when it was kill the niggas. Back when it really was kill the niggas.
And kill Whitey.
Yeah, okay? These kinds of crimes where they're burning crosses on lawns and shit, you might have needed to assess the motivation to assess whether they were going to reoffend or not. They may have needed.
Yeah,
When there were days where women were it really was okay to give an open-handed slap to a woman, and someone who really does hate women and decides they want to rape them, it might be okay to slap something extra on there to say, look, you're going to repeat this offense once you get back out. No, we're not going to have you do that.
An
There you go.
open-handed slap to a woman. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Nobody should hit anybody, but generally you'll find even going back as far as you can. Woman got an open-handed slap from a man. It was probably because she'd slapped him.
Maybe, or maybe not. Regardless, the original intention of the law is justified. What we're using it for now is not.
I'll agree to disagree with you.
Probably a good idea. I wonder what
Yeah,
Chad thinks.
Guilty act and guilty mind must be both present for a criminal offence to have been committed. Actus Royce and Mens Re.
Trucker parroted something similar when my brother was making this argument a week or two ago. I wish he was up here so that he could give me his assessment of what I've said, but he's muted.
I say, well, give my opinion on it.
Yeah, but I was looking for the trucker thing because trucker doesn't nitpick as much as you do. Actually, never mind. Yes, he does. Never mind. Go ahead, honey.
Sympathetic enthusiasm. Like I said, there's sometimes the motivation can be difficult to gauge, and therefore, how can you tell? You can just say like
it can be
see it.
difficult to gauge, but some of them can be proven, and you do have to prove a motive in the court of law, anyways.
You let me finish my point. You could just say, well, he killed that person because he's black or whatever. You don't know. You know if that's the case.
No, but you need evidence. In order for hate crime, in order for the conditions of hate crime originally, you would have had to prove motive and you would have had to prove pre-existing bias against a racial group. So, for example, a member of the KKK. It used to be much simpler back then. Now, it's been perverted and it's been twisted to just be slapped on anybody that disagrees with the race. But it used to be that you had to prove that there's a risk of repeat offense. You had to prove that there was a racial bias. You had to prove that it was a hate crime. There used to have to be evidence to support your motive. Yeah, anybody could just say it, but there used to have to actually be supporting evidence. That people have perverted it, but the original intention for hate crime laws, there is some merit to it. And there is a reason for it.
But again, I assume they would get assessed before they got released anyway, wouldn't they?
Yep.
They're just going to release fucking mass murder onto the streets. They're going to assess them first before they can actually be released.
Yeah.
Then you've got also
there's a higher risk.
Then you've also got to take into consideration that such things as motivation by hate in any given crime will always take into consideration anyway, and sentences adjusted accordingly. Which is another reason why
that
hate laws
the divide between whites and blacks or Nazis and Germans, Nazis and Jews. We don't really need to take as much of a hardline stance on it anymore, which is why I'm saying they're perverting it, but their original intention did have a just cause for it.
Yeah, and probably just agree, disagree. Let's just go around in circles and people will get bored of it eventually.
It's not about going around in circles. You got to remember the progressive mindset is they see a fence and they go, why is this fence here? Fuck it, let's tear it down.
I'm just saying this argument for me, not going around in circles.
It is going on in circles.
But if you sit there and say, what is this fence for? I don't know. Fuck it, tear it down. Kind of like you say, why are there fucking hate crime laws? I don't know why they're here. Fuck it, tear it down. Then you're using the same tactics as the people that you're speaking out against. And that is slightly hypocritical.
Yeah. Critics says dick.
Going around in circles, was it? That was a pretty good point there, wasn't it, sir?
No.
I never said you don't have points occasionally.
Uh-huh.
To be honest, I can't remember what I didn't even hear half of that anyway, but yeah.
For fuck's sakes.
I was reading the chat.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when you say let's agree to disagree, it's because you've run out of things to argue against.
No, because it was just going round in circles.
Not really. That last point kind of meant something.
Anyway, Cryptic's drinking beer.
Good job, Cryptic. Good man.
I'm more of a cider man myself, but yeah.
If I was allowed to drink, I'd be at a pub.
Instead of sitting here with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the law commission the following campaign by Stella Queasy, Women's Aid, the Foster Society, and others now consulting on whether misogyny should be a requirement. Should require in addition to preceded characteristics to the protected characteristics list. Means this curb on molestation on the streets, as well as the legislature. Which maybe achieve. Again, molestation on the streets is already illegal anyway, so why are you putting another crime on something that's already illegal? Stupid. And Honey Monster says, "Don't get blind drunk, blind girl."
Yeah.
No, she gets sighted drunk.
Also, she's not allowed to drink anyway.
I thought it was a fun stream.
Yeah, you didn't. You were not there after the stream, Green Thunder. If you were, you'd know.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. Where'd Trucker get off to?
No idea.
Blind.
If you were there after the stream and blind girl was drunk, you'd understand why she shouldn't drink anymore. Unless you would sickle over her bed again.
It's not like I can't wash more bed sheets.
But as in Warwick and Westminster, the understanding of misogyny and its harm and of its harm is likely in a profoundly misogynist culture. You know, we have female presidents for 3 years up until this year.
Profoundly misogynistic culture. She must be on about Islam.
No. No, so misogynistic that a female prime minister. If a blind person becomes too drunk, do they become sighted drunk?
I
That'd be
just trust
cool.
that wiki.
If that was the case, so you'd probably be drunk all the time, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
And
Yeah,
eventually
but
you'd die.
it'd be worse if you'd be walking into things that you could actually see.
Well, it probably lasts about a week for you, and then you'd probably end up dying or something of like alcohol poisoning.
Maybe.
Hello, Straight Sid Mail.
Hey, stretch this mouth.
Hey, gay Jedi female.
To be contested, or to provide misogynist for the context, yet more hate, for yet more hatred. Invented misogyny
Yeah, but it isn't invented, is it?
is real. One recalls in the connection that 5 members of the UK Law Commission are men, probably because they earned the right to be there.
Yeah.
Since they recently portrayed no awareness of this anomaly as in public, forming body in a long report on Senegal said, "Fuck knows, I can't read today."
So
They long for more UK women to offer modestly priced incubation. Women should once again manage expectations of fairness. What explains this most misplaced, borderline Hellenic performance of mass privilege? Maybe all the women QCs are busy writing reports on institutionalized misogyny. Even if there was institutionalized misogyny, there wouldn't be any women QCs, would there? Think about that one.
if we were in a misogynist culture, we would not have a queen.
Nor we have a female prime minister either.
Nope, or female MPs.
In fact, we had a fucking female prime minister in the 70s. In very late 70s, but she got it in 1979.
1980, I believe.
1979, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was like 1980. 10 years, though.
She was there a while. So, yeah.
Too long.
Oh, well, I don't know. I saw this one and I thought it was stupid. I thought, well, this must be one of the easiest ways I've ever seen anyone get 10 grand ever.
Yeah, it was 1979. My mistake.
Northern Ireland official paid £10,000 in compensation for having to walk past portrait of the Queen. I've seen many pictures of the Queen. Where's my 10 grand?
What the hell?
What?
Getting 10 grand just because you had to walk past the portrait of the Queen.
Yep.
Although it says portrait of Queen, so he obviously doesn't like Freddie Mercury and his band.
Senior Northern Ireland civil sergeant was paid £10,000 in compensation after he claimed it was against his human rights to have him forced to walk past portraits of the Queen and Prince Philip.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm not a big fan of the Queen either. Where's my fucking 10 grand?
What retardation is this? Like, seriously.
If I figured out how to get money that easy, I would do it too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where the fuck else my 10 grand?
Apparently, you have to be more retarded than I am to get free money.
Why? Because that's just. The Queen is on a pound bill. I'm American. The Queen is on the banks of the Queen is on the money in England, but not Scotland. So the money in England and Wales, but not Scotland and Northern Ireland, because Scotland and Northern Ireland have their own banknotes. It's weird.
It's on Canadian money.
Ooh, one second.
I can even show you what Scottish money looks like. Yeah, we have on the roll.
Yeah, it doesn't look like real money.
It's a Scottish £20 note. In England, it would have the Queen on it. Over here, it doesn't. Yeah, education. You learned something new today. For those of you who wanted to know what a Scottish £20 looks like, now you do.
Well, everybody but me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send you one in Braille.
Thank you.
So I didn't even know there was a £100 note in Scotland. Canadians have loony Canadian dollar, and also pound bills aren't really common over here. You usually get like pound coins,
Yeah, we don't have pound notes here at all now.
and the pound coins are similar like everywhere across the UK. So yeah. Why I'm talking about fucking UK money, I don't know. But yeah. Back to the article. Lee Hegarty, currently in charge of the Northern Irish Parades Commission, was also granted his request to remove the portraits depicting senior members of the royal family. The civil servant was even consulted over what to replace the portraits with. And Mr. Hegarty suggested to use pictures of the Queen meeting people during engagements in Northern Ireland. So he wanted to get rid of the pictures of the Queen, but then he chose to have pictures of the Queen. What?
I just don't want to know anymore.
What's the point? Yeah, another thing I wondered actually, how do blind people even use money anyway? How do you know what's like a $10 bill, a $20 bill, etc.?
There's Braille on it. There's different colors. My screen reader on my phone, which is usually the answer for everything I tell you.
I don't know. Bought them in a Bank of England. In a bank in England, they seem 100 notes are big. Yeah, Scottish money seems to get bigger the more it's worth. Yeah. Blind people have a bitch of a time in the US because all our dollars are the exact same size. Yeah, at least in Scotland we're smart enough to have ours different sizes, so you can kind of guess which one's what.
In America, something relatively new is at one of the places on the bill, the denomination is raised. So if you know the difference in how they feel.
One of the new photographs chosen depicts the Queen meeting Martin McGuinness, the former deputy First Minister of Northern Ireland and ex-IRA leader. Former Ulster Union.
Yeah.
Martin McGuinness.
Yeah, belly eating for food.
Former Ulster Unionist MP Lord McGuinness proud of the pair secured last year a scandalous episode. After he found it outrageous, Mr. Haggie's complaint was quickly settled.
Oh, excuse me.
It will take years to satisfy claims made by victims of historical and institutional abuse. Yeah, this is fucking ridiculous, though, isn't it? So this is gonna be like the easiest 10 grand anyone's ever made. We've all lost sense of reality when a portrait of Her Majesty can cause offence to a civil servant. We do not bat an eyelid when we deny close injustice to unfortunate people who have been abused in the most outrageous manner imaginable. I urge the Northern Ireland not only to restore the original portraits of Her Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh, but to expedite the payment of the paltry compensation due to the people who are more deserving than this civil servant. Surely must be compromised in his position in the Parades Commission because of our bigoted stance over the royal family.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, why the fuck hell is this guy getting 10 grand because a picture hurt his feelings?
No, I think he should be let loose on one of the Queen's estates and given a 5 head start before Prince Philip chases him with a shotgun.
I'm not in front of the royal family either. Where's my 10 grand, Queen? I want my 10 grand.
Honey Mantra says the bird selling the bathwater made it 10,000 easier.
I don't know, this guy only had to walk past the fucking picture though and he got 10 grand for it.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't like it.
What was his thought process?
Yeah, but the difference between him and her is he had to get dressed.
What was his thought process? Though? I mean, was he sitting there and he going, "Oh, I could use 10 grand. What could I do? Oh, I know. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, I bet it probably won't work, but I'll try it."
Yep. Lord McGuinness also claimed the payment was given to Mr. Haggerty in secret. Speaking about the new portraits, he told the House of Lords one such photograph features Her Majesty the Queen shaking hands with former Deputy First Minister Martin McGuinness at the Lydiger Theatre in Belfast. I bet you farted in the water, dirty cow. I do not mind that. What I mind is that the case brought by the complainant was held secretly, and the sum of £10,000 was handed over, presumably for her feelings and distress. I wish my life was that easy. 10 grand for her feelings and distress.
Yeah. Yeah, if you or me tried to pull that, it would be totally off.
And the settlement was signed off by the then Secretary of State, Theresa Willers MP, on recommendation. I'm informed of our Parliament Secretary, Jonathan Stevens. Why would you sign something like that off? I've been told to look at the annual accounts to where the money came from, but it's not to be found. That should concern us. She could have sold it for the charity to fight waterborne diseases in the third world or something. Now she put it in her own pocket. So it's close to Ms. Willer's claim the former cabinet minister was hugely reluctant to allow the payment. They continue, but unfortunately sometimes this is unavoidable in this kind of legal dispute. Oh, and you could have just said "fuck you," what the fuck you doing? Just any Secretary of State has to listen to legal advice in such cases with their own whatever their own personal views. No worries, being fun there. Well, McGuinness also said that sometime after receiving the compensation, Mr. Haggett was promoted to his current role. Sally Wilson, a senior DUP MP, said in the episode, this shows the madness of the Northern Ireland Public Office and the civil service in Northern Ireland. There is now a genuine compensation culture within the civil service in Northern Ireland where people get offended or claim to be offended knowing they'll be paid. The Northern Ireland office said in the brief statement, "We will not comment on individual personnel matters. This is the side of saying you fucked up, but we make you fucked up."
Very much.
Fucking nice. And I'm just having a picture of the Queen. I wish my life was that easy.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yep. I find a stupid article again. Well, stupid fucking thing, come on, load. Lord. This thing's being fucking retarded. I guess it's not a good stream without tech problems, huh? This man tried to set the world record for sitting on the toilet. And that's a great humans strive for being the fastest and the strongest and the one who can sit on the toilet the longest.
What?
Jimmy. Yep. Jimmy the Friend tried to be that person. The Belgian man parked himself on the potty in an Orsted bar for almost 5 days in an attempt to set the world record. Yeah. During his bathroom break, the toilet sitter checked his phone, enjoyed hearty meals and chat with family and friends. How the fuck hell did he sleep though? I mean, sleeping on a toilet can't be that comfy.
How numb were his legs?
Probably very. And he was allowed to get off the toilet every hour for 5 minutes. That doesn't count. How does that count?
If he's going for a record, he should stay on there until he beats the record.
Exactly. In an unexpected twist, he was also allowed a real toilet breaks. The competition toilet was not connected to any actual plumbing. Well, that just sort of ruins it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Should be connected.
Should have been a real toilet.
Yep. He should be under constant supervision to make sure that he never leaves it.
Yeah. I guess you maybe give him like a pillow or something to raise it to maybe like rest his back on or something, but that's all he should get. And the feat was not as easy as it looked. The friend said his legs eventually began to hurt and that he got tired. Although he wasn't able to meet his goal of 165 hours, instead clocked in at 116 hours. Well, you failed then, didn't you?
Yep.
You failed your fucking thing. You failed the one thing you wanted to do in life, and you failed it. Fucking moron. I think he's farting.
I think I could beat that.
I think he's farting. I blame Blind Girl for it.
Yeah, enjoy.
I can probably smell it from
I
here.
think I could fight. I think I got a shot at beating that record. I've been training for 15 years. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I get it, but yeah.
Story of my life.
Someone will get her the duff, and she'll go downhill rapidly. So, I'm confused now.
They're talking about Belle Delphine, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Most of the time, my chat has nothing to do with the article. No,
This is true. Right, I suppose I better go and feed the hairy bastard. I will return.
yeah, no worries. Oh, that's just the case, doesn't it? Time for another article about Trump, because everything seems to be about Trump today. Trump administration announces massive overhaul of asylum system that will only accept Central Americans who were denied help in the first safe country they entered. The Trump administration on Monday moved in to end asylum protections for the most Central Americans, to the Central American migrants in major escalation of the president's battle to tamp down on the number of people crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. According to a new rule published in the Federal Register, asylum seekers who pass through another country first will be eligible for asylum at the U.S. southern border. The rule is expected to go into effect on Tuesday. It also applies to children who have crossed the border alone. It's not under international law anyway.
That's international law. That's international law anyway. It's gotten to the point over here where there are people flying from Africa to Central America and then crossing the border there, like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So it's gotten it's gotten ridiculous.
Insane asylum, yep. There are some exceptions. If someone has been trafficked to the country the migrant pass-through did not sign one of the major international treaties that govern how refugees are managed. Most Western countries have signed them. If an asylum seeker has sought protection in another country but was denied, then a migrant could apply for U.S. asylum. See, that seems fair and reasonable, to be honest. I don't have much of a problem with this. Really, I mean,
Neither
Trump's
way.
move, I mean, it pretty much just follows what's international law anyway.
Yeah.
Trump's move will essentially end asylum protections as they are now on the southern border. The policy is also almost certain to face legal challenge. U.S. law allows refugees to request asylum when they arrive at the U.S. regardless of how they did so. But there is an exception for those who have come for considered to be safe. So he's just saying something that's already in the fucking law anyway.
Well, the funny part is this actually helps blow that entire narrative out of the water about the refugees. Everybody's saying, "Oh, they're fleeing from this and they're fleeing from that." They're not fleeing from anything. They're trying to come to America.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're lying about. There's a lot of people that are doing nothing but lying about why they're coming over. They'll sit and tell some sob story to the point where the Democrats are being caught going over to Mexico to coach them about what to say and how to handle it when they're caught. And Yeah, like
Couldn't
you
do
said,
it,
they're
or-
not stopping in the right. The thing that gets me the most is Mexico is not this. It's they would have you believe that Mexico, as it stands right now, is either slum or those little hokey old west towns that you see in the old damn John Wayne movies. They want to act like it's still that. The problem is Mexico City is rather nice. There are cities and there are large settlements in Mexico that's quite nice. So
Yeah. And even if that is poor, but it's not like it's not unsafe. It's not that bad.
no, it's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, there's a couple areas that when you go to, it's the cartels, but you have the cartels are there, but the areas where the cartels are, nobody else is there.
Yeah, imagine they're in the middle of nowhere, pretty much.
Yeah,
Because all they're going to be in the middle of a city where it's going to be easier for them to get caught.
right.
Yeah, the Immigration and Nationality Act, which governs asylum law, is vague on how a country is deemed to be safe. It says, version to a bilateral or multilateral agreement. Right now, the US has such agreement known as Safe Third Country. Only with Canada. Under such an agreement with Mexico, Central American countries were considered the regional compact on the issue, but nothing has been decided. That was going to happen. I think I know what Canada's going to do, though. Canada probably say, "Oh, you can come here instead." That's what they're going to do.
Only the sanctuary cities will, and Fluffy.
It's still Canada.
Yeah, well,
You can see Fluffy
I'd
doing that. Like,
I'd actually kind of like to see when you got Fluffy and all that pulling that stuff with Canada. I'd kind of like to see Trump turn around and do the same thing he's doing to the sanctuary cities to Canada. Y'all want them? Here, have them.
I can see them doing. I can see him doing that.
Yeah.
wonderful.
Guatemalan officials were expected in Washington on Monday. Apparently, a meeting between Trump and Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales has been cancelled amid court challenging Guatemala over whether the country could agree a safe third with the US. Yeah, the new rule will also apply to initial asylum screening, known as credible fear interview, at which migrants must prove they are credible. They have credible fears of returning to their home country. It applies to migrants who are arriving in the US, not those who are already in the country. Trump administration officials say changes are meant to close the gap between initial asylum screening that most people pass and the final decision on asylum that most people do not win. Asylum rights groups, regulatory leaders, and humanitarian groups have said the Republican administration amounts to a cruel and galvanized effort to keep immigrants out of the country.
Back. Yes, illegal immigrants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador are poor countries suffering from violence. We'll move to Mexico then, because that's the next safest country to you, technically, isn't it?
Sort your country out then.
Along with the administration's recent effort to send asylum seekers back over the border, Trump has tried to deny asylum to anyone crossing the border illegally and restrict who can claim asylum. And Attorney General William.
It's like the Syrian refugees we're getting in Europe and in the UK. They're not the type of people you want in your country, the ones who actually are from Syria, because the Syrians that you'd want to emigrate to Europe and then emigrate to the UK, you know where they are?
Canada?
They're in Syria fighting for their fucking country.
Oh, sorry. I thought Canada took him in because we're super nice.
No. He took all the shit ones.
Yeah, I think there's actually been more Syrian refugees than there are actually people in Syria by now.
And frankly, Canada can have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, on a side note, a Honey Monster, yes, they do still actually export the jumping beans. those are actually a real thing.
Oh, do you ever get any
They
illegal?
only-
Do you ever get any
they
illegal
only
jump
sport-
things?
huh? No,
You know, that have jumped over the border.
no. The thing with the actual the jumping beans, what they really are is there's some sort of bean that some worm egg
Yeah,
or some worm injects its egg into the beans,
it's a moth. Isn't it?
and what makes I think so, and what the beans moving around is basically the little larva hopping around inside of it.
Yeah,
Along with the recent administration's recent effort to send asylum seekers back over the border, Trump has tried to deny asylum to anyone crossing the border illegally and restrict who can claim asylum. And Attorney General William Barr recently tried to keep thousands of asylum seekers detained while cases play out. Nearly all those efforts have been blocked by courts. Meanwhile, conditions have worsened for migrants who make it over the border, seeking better lives. Tens of thousands of Central American migrant families cross the border each month, many claiming asylum. Unless you claim asylum in fucking Mexico, then, because that's the next safest country. The numbers have increased despite Trump's divisive rhetoric and hardline immigration policies. Border facilities have been dangerously cramped and crowded, well beyond capacity. The Department of Homeland Security's watchdog found very filthy conditions for many children, and lawmakers who traveled there recently decried conditions. Immigration courts are backlogged more than 800,000 cases, meaning many won't have asylum claims heard for years. Judges being hired. Despite move judges being hired, you mean more judges being hired. Fucking
you've got to love the.
Oh, for a second, I thought you said judges being high.
it says move judges being hired instead of more judges being hired. People are genuinely eligible for asylum in the US if they feared return to their home country because they would be persecuted on race, religion, nationality, or membership in a particular social group. During the budget year for 2009, there were over 38,000 asylum claims, and over 8,000 were granted. During the 2018 budget year, there were over 100,000 claims, and over 13,000 were granted. So really, it's just going to go in. Trump's basically just following international law then. Anyway, chilling time. So, Joker, chill.
Pumpkin Trucker Channel, almost daily dash camps starting up again tomorrow, about 8 a.m. ish. Going to Pennsylvania. One more time before I go home. Yay.
I hear you're going on holiday, aren't you? You're off for a few days. Are you off for just a day, or are you
Next
off for like a week?
Or, well, in a couple, or after tomorrow, it's just one day, and then it's going to be like 5 days. I'll be working, and then off for a week.
Batman chill. Batman, anything to chill? I'll take that as an no.
I think he left to feed his dog.
Cut. Pardon?
I'm saying if you got anything to chill, because we're at the end.
Not offhand, no. Just anybody who's in this stream and who has been in the stream, apart from Green Thunder, because don't go to his channel, he's horrible.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that, should I?
Yeah, Honey Monster.
Monster.
Yeah, make sure to make sure to like, share, and subscribe because I'm almost at 200. I'd like to get there before I get 100 episodes, so getting there would be much appreciated. Also, in a half an hour, head over here.
Ooh,
For more of the same people, I assume.
I'm starting to get a bit zony. I might not be on the other stream, but
Yeah, not really.
it's highly unlikely.
Oh.
Sleepy.
So yeah. Thanks for watching. All hail be well. You're all a bunch of cunts. Goodbye.